Okay, I am making a quick video here to just talk about the difference between distance traveled and displacement. So we're going to pretend that we're going for a walk. So here you are, and you are going to walk 3 blocks to the, I suppose I should put a compass in here. So north, south, west, east. So you're walking 3 blocks east. And then you're going to walk 4 blocks north. And so if this is the walk that you took, the total distance that you traveled would be what? So you went 3 blocks and then 4 blocks. That means you walked a total of 7 blocks. Now displacement, oops, if I could spell displacement. Displacement is your distance from your beginning to your end in a straight line. And it is also a vector quantity, so it needs to include direction. So if I go back to my map of my walk, if this is where I started and this is where I ended, then this dotted line would be my displacement. And I'm pretty sure you guys have talked about Pythagorean theorem in math class. So when you have a right triangle, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we have 3 squared, because that's your first side of your triangle, plus 4 squared is your second side of your triangle, equals c squared. So your hypotenuse is c. So we've got 9 plus 16, which is 25. So 25 equals c squared, which means c has to equal 5 blocks. And so c is your displacement in this case. And because you traveled both east and north, I would say that my displacement is 5 blocks northeast. Now you could figure out exactly how far north of east it is, but we're not going to get that complicated. A couple of other situations where we can look at the same kind of thing. In this case, your displacement was slightly less than your distance traveled. Your displacement and your distance can be equal, but because the shortest distance is always a straight line, your displacement should never be more than your distance traveled. So if you went for a walk and you just went 3 blocks east and then you stopped, both your distance and your displacement would be 3 blocks. The difference between the two would be your distance, you could just say 3 blocks. Your displacement, you would have to say 3 blocks east. Now let's say you go for a walk around the block. Just move this up here a little bit. So here you are. You're going to go around the block. So you're going 1 block east, you're going 1 block north, going 1 block west, and 1 block south. So in that course of going around the block, your total distance that you traveled was 4 blocks, because you walked each side of that block. If we talk about displacement for this one, you started right here and you ended right here. So if if you start and end in exactly the same spot, Your displacement in this case would be 0 blocks. So just keep in mind, anytime you start and end in the same place, you have no displacement.